Hello students, today we will start next chapter from paper 2, that is chapter number 5, flip-flops, counter and registers. Now let's start with the flip-flops. Now let's try to understand the concept of 1-bit memory cell. 1-bit memory cell is a digital device which stores 1-bit memory. Okay, so the bit can be 0 or it can be 1. So 1-bit memory cell stores 1 bit at a time, and the bit stored is saved till another input is not applied. A flip-flop is an example of 1-bit memory cell. Okay, when we say the memory is 8-bit memory, then such 8 flip-flops, they are cascaded or connected to each other, because one flip-flop stores 1-bit memory, 2 flip-flop stores 2-bit memory, 3 flip-flop stores 3-bit memory. Okay, so such 8 bits are stored in the memory cell. So we can say flip-flop is an example of 1-bit memory cell because it stores 1 bit at a time. 1-bit memory cell is also known as bistable multivibrator. We know monostable multivibrator which generates one stable state, then a stable multivibrator which generates 2 states but they are not stable, and bistable multivibrator, it can generate both stable state. Okay, so flip-flop is an example of flip-flop, or it is also known as latch. It is an example of bistable multivibrator. So multivibrator generates square wave. Basically it generates square wave. Okay, so it generates either 0 or 1. This is 1 0 1 0. Okay, and the memory or 1 bit that is stored in the memory when the input is applied. Now let's see the types of flip-flops. First flip-flop is RS flip-flop. R means reset, S means set. So reset set flip-flop. Then D flip-flop means data flip-flop. Next one is JK flip-flop, and last one is T flip-flop means toggle flip-flop. Now let's see RS flip-flop using transistorized circuit. We will see 3 types of RS flip-flop. RS flip-flop using transistorized circuit, RS flip-flop using NAND latch, and RS flip-flop using NOR latch. Okay, here 2 identical transistors T1 and T2 are used. This is base of transistor T1, this is base of transistor T2. Y bar is the output taken at the collector of transistor T1. Y is the output taken at collector of transistor T2. Okay, now see the arrangement. Here base of T1 is connected to collector of T2. Base of T1 is connected to collector of T2, and base of T2 is connected to the collector of T1. Okay, so this such type of arrangement is known as latch. Okay, so cross connection is there, base to collector, base to collector. So this is known as latch, and 2 trigger inputs are given. Set is the input given to base of T1, and reset is the input given to base of T2. These are 2 trigger inputs, set and reset, or we call it as S input and R input. Okay, so this is the arrangement of this transistorized latch. Now we will see how it works. Normal NPN transistor, any NPN transistor. This is base, this is collector, this is emitter. Input is applied to base and output is taken at collector. When base voltage is high, transistor conducts. When input high, transistor conducts or turns on, but its output decreases to 0. That's why transistor itself is known as inverter. Okay, when input is high, its output is low. When input is low, transistor remains off and its output becomes high. So that's why transistor is known as inverter. So reverse process is here, and the same concept we will apply here. Now let's see all 4 cases of transistor. Now let's see working. First case, when S equal to 0, R equal to 0, when set reset both are 0, no trigger pulse to both transistor. So as trigger is not applied, then output remains in last state, whatever last state. There are 2 outputs, Y and Y bar. So both outputs remains in last state, no change in output. If the Y was 0, it remains 0. If Y bar was 1, it remains 1. If Y bar was 0, it remains 0. If this was 1, it remains 1. Okay, so output remains in last state, no change in the output because no trigger is applied. Now second case, S equal to 0, R equal to 1. Now see here, set equal to 0 means no trigger for T1. T1 off. As T1 is off, Y bar will be high. So Y bar equal to 1, because as transistor is off, its output becomes 1. But as reset, R is 1, so T1 is getting high pulse or trigger pulse. So T1 on, as reset pulse is high, so T2 turns on. T2 turns on. As T2 turns on, it conducts, so its output decreases. So Y equal to 0. So here we can see Y 0, Y bar 1. Case 3, when S1 R 0, S equal to 1, R equal to 0. S1 means T1 conduct, T1 on. As T1 turns on, its output decreases to 0. So Y bar 0. Now R0, reset 0, so T2 off. T2 off. As T2 is off, its output becomes high. Y equal to 1. So we can see Y bar 0 and Y1. So Y1, Y bar 0. Now last case, S equal to 1, R equal to 1. Now S equal to 1, R equal to 1. Okay, here 1, here also 1. Now both output, they should be complement of each other. Means when Y equal to 0, Y bar will be 1. When Y will be 1, Y bar will be 0. But here, as both inputs are high, both transistors try to get saturated. Saturated means they try to turn on. So there will be race between them to give low output. Okay, so such case is known as forbidden, or it is output at this stage is unpredictable. Means it can be 0, it can be 1, we cannot predict. So such output is known as forbidden, or we call the condition as race condition. Okay, so when S equal to R equal to 1, both T1 and T2 try to saturate, therefore output is forbidden or unpredictable, hence there is race condition. Okay, so this is how RS flip-flop using transistorized circuit works. Now let's see RS flip-flop using NAND gates. Here two NAND gates are used. First NAND gate, second NAND gate. S input, set input is applied to first NAND gate. Reset input R is applied to second NAND gate. Okay. Output Y bar is given as input to second NAND gate, and output of second NAND gate Y is given as input to first NAND gate. Now in case of NAND gate, this is truth table of NAND gate. So from truth table we know if any of the input is low, output remains high. This is the definition of NAND gate. Again I am repeating, if any of the input is low, its output becomes high. So to make output of NAND gate high, what is condition? One of the input or both input must be low. Now let's see the working. Case 1, when S equal to 0, R equal to 0, S, R both are 0. See, both inputs are 0. In that case, both NAND gates try to give high output, because what is definition? If any of the input is low, output will be high. So both NAND gate tries to give high output. Okay, so there is race between them. So output at this stage is unpredictable, or we call it as forbidden. So as race is there, both gates try to give high output, so output is forbidden. Now second case, when set is low, reset is high. Set low, reset high. See, as set input is low, output of first AND gate becomes high. Okay, output of first NAND gate, which is nothing but Y bar. Y bar is high. This Y bar is given here. So here also 1 is there, and R is already high. R is already high. And in NAND gate, when both input are 1, 1, its output is 0. So here Y becomes 0. So, and output of second NAND gate becomes Y equal to 0. So now we know Y 0, Y bar 1. Now third case, when set is high, reset is low. Reset is low. In this case, set is high, reset is low. Now here first gate cannot give trigger pulse to NAND gate, but here second NAND gate is getting low input, so we can say its output becomes high. As one of the input of second NAND gate is 0, so output of second NAND gate which is nothing but Y becomes high. Now this Y is given as input to first NAND gate. So here first input S is 1, that is the condition. Y is also 1. As both inputs are 1, 1, we know in case of NAND gate, when both inputs are 1, 1, its output is 0. So Y bar becomes 0. Therefore, as inputs of first NAND gate are 1, 1, therefore output Y bar equal to 0. So here we are getting Y as high means 1, and y bar as 0. Now last case, when s equal to 1, r equal to 1. Here when both s are there 1 1, then what happens here? No trigger pulse is given to both the NAND gate, therefore output remains in last state. Output remains in last state. This state is also known as memory. Okay, we call the 1-bit memory cell because it stores that bit. Whatever y and y bar are there, then it remains in last state. Now here I can explain how the last state is there. Suppose inputs are S0, R1, then in that case we know y is 0, y bar is 1. Immediately after that, if we make s equal to 1, r equal to 1, then output remains in last state. But what was last state? Y was 0, y bar was 1. So here we will get 0, here we will get 1. Okay. Now let's see next case. If we apply s equal to 1, r equal to 0, in that case we know y becomes 1, y bar becomes 0. Now immediately after this state, if we make s equal to 1, r equal to 1, then output remains in last state. But what was last state? Last state was y was 1, y bar was 0. So here we will get 0, 1. So this is called last state. Now remember also one thing. Set means to make y1 and reset means to make y0. Okay. So when set input is 1, y must be 1. When reset input is 1, means y must be 0. We are applying reset input means we are resetting the flip-flop. To make reset means to make 0, to make set means to make it 1. And of course y bar is complement, so when y is 0, y bar 1, when y is 1, y bar is 0. Now we will see RS flip-flop using NOR latch. Now let's see RS flip-flop using NOR gates. Same structure is here, only NAND gates are replaced by NOR gates. Okay. This is truth table for NOR gate. From truth table it is clear that if any of the input is high, then output of NOR gate is low. So we can predict the output only if one of the input is low or both, if one of the input is high or both inputs are high, then only output will be low, and when both inputs are low, output will be high. Now let's see case 1. When s equal to 0, r equal to 0, then here both inputs are low. In this case no trigger pulse is given. We cannot predict because we don't know what will be the output of NOR gate. Okay, so in that case no trigger pulse is given, so output is in last state. Now next, let's see second case. When s equal to 0, r equal to 1. S0, R1. Here as s is 0, no trigger pulse for first NOR gate, but r is 1, so it will give trigger pulse for second NOR gate. So output of second NOR gate will be y equal to 0, because we know if any of the input is high, output will be low. So y 0. Now this 0 is given here. This 0 is given here. Now input of first NOR gate are 0 0, and if both inputs of NOR gate are 0 0, its output will be 1. So that's why its output y bar equal to 1. So in this case we are getting y as 0, y bar equal to 1. Now third, when s equal to 1, are equal to 0. S1 are 0. Now here as S is 1, trigger is given to first NOR gate. Therefore output of first NOR gate Y bar equal to 0. This 0 is given here. Now input of second NOR gate will be 0 0. As both inputs are 0 0, its output will be 1. If inputs are 0 0, output is 1. Therefore its output Y equal to 1. So we get Y equal to 1, Y bar equal to 0. Now last case, when S equal to 1, R equal to 1. Now we know if any of the input is high, output will be low. When both inputs, when here S, R, both are 1 1, then both tries to give low output. So there is race between them, and output at this stage is unpredictable, and we call it as output is forbidden. Okay. So output, when inputs are 1 1, output is forbidden. Now let's try to understand the last case. Okay. If we apply inputs 0, S equal to 0, R equal to 1, then outputs are Y 0, Y bar 1. Now after this, if we make S equal to 0, R equal to 0, then output remains in last state, means Y remains 0 and Y bar remains 1. This is last case. Now if we apply S equal to 1, R equal to 0, then outputs are Y1, Y bar 0. Immediately after this, if we make S equal to 0, R equal to 0, then output remains in last case, and last case was Y equal to 1, Y bar was 0. So here we will get 1, here we will get 0. This is all about the last case in case of RS flip-flop using NOR gate. Last case means it is nothing but memory. Okay, so that bit is stored in the memory.